And that's what Todd Gordon told me. He said, I wanted a car that I knew the history on, and I knew I could count on that. Logano started 13th up to 10th right now. He said 1 and 2, he's pretty good. But right there in 3 and 4, Rick, a little bit too tight in the middle.
Too high to try to do it for another 240 laps. So right now, they're taking a little bit of conservative route because they can. As this race develops and moves on, then that risk is going to have to become more prevalent.
Well, Jeff, you said it. Yesterday, we saw a great Xfinity battle between some young up-and-coming stars. Daniel Suarez, the Joe Gibbs Racing driver, wins the championship, and really one of the only cars in the field with no damage on his right side. So that conservative approach worked yesterday in that Xfinity race. Will it work again today in the Sprint Cup race?
Enough, it will do damage. It will hurt your performance.
24 of Chase Elliott right up against the wall. A 20-year-old. Also has a father that was in the sport, in particular with Jason Edleski and Carl Edwards. Jason Edleski was a racer himself. Used to race quite a bit. Was a driver that really enjoyed being behind the wheel.
Steve, we saw in practice yesterday, I think everybody was afraid of this 19 car. He looked like he had the fastest car on short runs.
Trying to take that top spot away. As strong a move as we saw out of Carl Edwards. Kevin Harvick has
pass. Yeah, right here. With
no
the 19,
contact.
The 19 that close to the 4, it just pulls the air.
Once again, Harvick dives to the bottom of the racetrack.
He just seems so right. Even when we interviewed him before the race, he's like, just laughing, having a good time. I really
feeling very confident, as well as the test they took part in ahead of the Talladega race. They were the only one of the championship 4 to participate in that test. He said although they shared their notes with their entire team, including the 18 of Kyle Busch, he said that jumped over to Tony.
That's one of the things that Carl Edwards does. He doesn't keep any of the trophies. He gives the trophies away. Normally it's to kids that he's met, maybe people that are suffering from something or another. But Carl Edwards has been very generous as far as the trophies. He always gives those away, but that's the first helmet that I've heard he
tires. I think this is awful aggressive. We're going to see who comes with it. Remember, he's racing 3 other cars for a championship. He's not really racing against the other 39 cars. He was about 7 seconds behind the leader.
If he has enough speed and they're afraid, he can force the issue and have out with the people.
25 laps on green, that's super early, but you saw it just 2 laps later. Kyle Busch gives up 4th place to come down.
Is when pace car comes out and catches the leader of the race. Drivers that want to stay out onto the racetrack will end up in front of the best of the best racing for a championship, all inside the top 5, led by Joey Logano.
Then when you move to the top, it seems to drive better. So maybe they just tried to put their car in the worst situation in practice to ultimately get the best 70. Close to a half a second faster run on the top of the racetrack. Hey, if you're going to run the bottom, run the bottom. Don't run the middle. It seems like when we run the middle, we're not as good. That was the instructions prior to this long run. They had that problem, took it out of a chance to win a championship, but they stayed together, and they were committed to each other, and now they have another shot at it.
Kyle Busch, after winning a championship a year ago, looking to defend that title.
I thought I saw the left hand of Joey Logano come out of the window going down into turn 1. Like maybe he's coming to pit road. We'll
bring his car onto pit road for 4 fresh tires. Marty.
Todd Gordon wasn't lying this morning, Rick, when he told me they were going to play it very aggressive with pit road strategy. Here they are, the first one of the championship 4.
Of how his car was handling, and then he started shouting, coming to you, coming. Actually, he was very calm. He said, coming to you, coming to you. The crew rifled out of their sitting positions and onto the pit wall, and the right front appears to be down.
The right front tire is soft. It's just going to turn right, so he goes in.
Coming to you, coming to you, coming to you, coming to you. Right front down, right front down, right front down.
How quick the driver felt something was wrong with that race car. That could be the difference. Logano back and forth. So as much as he wants to outrun the 42, I think we saw last week with Matt Kenseth on that next to last restart, how you can get caught up in the moment, decide to race one of these cars, how much it can cost you.
Sunset scheduled for 5:30. And it is definitely in their eyes when they come out of turn number 4.
Their lap with a car that free.
Carl Edwards continues to chase, but is out front. Driver who used to sleep in his car before he got a full-time ride with Roush Fenway Racing is still leading the championship 4. Kelly.
We were just talking about the strengths of this pit crew. Well, crew chief Dave Rogers would agree. He said that They're the best on pit road. They step up when they have to. He said it just...
Running third. Kyle Busch running in the fourth position. Dave?
I know it's going to hurt us, but I don't know.
It'll hurt them in the sense that he is on older tires, but only about 12 seconds.
Ford EcoBoost 400 continuing as Kyle Larson is out front. Let's go through the field.
On the last stop, trying to give him the car he needs to get to the front and get that title, Rick.
Thanks, Mike. Great update on our championship 4 in the last 10 laps in both here under this chase format. So the last 2 times under this chase format, there has been a restart inside the last 10 laps.
I've learned that whatever strategy I wanted to play, I could find a stat to support it, but then we had to see how the race fell.
Pressure goes on to the pit
Of his car right there. You see the 22 car get loose. He loses momentum. That allows the 18 car to get a... Well, decision has been made by Carl Edwards. Carl Edwards, they got themselves back with a poor pit stop. They're handling, but Carl Edwards is running down Kyle Busch at a big rate of difference. I mean, Kyle Busch ran a 33.70.
Pretty good, but not good enough to this point. He struggled with handling problems.
Hey, I remember what happened in Richmond, and if I'm behind Carl Edwards, I know what I know. Carl Edwards has first got to get by Kyle Busch. See Carl right against that wall.
Well, you mentioned earlier, if it pulls you into the wall, you could damage it and give up a bunch of time. But with 28 to go, this is where the 19 actually looks to be better than the 18 as they go through traffic and they get to the bottom of the racetrack.
championship. We've seen what these teammates will do to win a race. What will they do for a champion?
Before the pit stop, what do we need? Big adjustments on the